Hello everyone and welcome to the piece of shit that is Batman Arkham Knight on the PC. Oh, what have they done to this? What have you done, Rocksteady, to this game? So yeah, interestingly, look at it. Just look at the way it's running right now. The game, first of all, has a 30 FPS lock, which, you know, on a PC game, locked at 30 FPS. Now, it's not a huge issue. Now, I just left the 30 FPS lock for recording this video because we're not going to get a frame rate much higher than 30 if we're running recording software. So I just kept the 30 FPS lock in place. You can remove it, but the fact that that's in there is kind of pointless when you consider there is a benchmarking tool which isn't locked at 30 FPS. So that was a huge oversight on the developers leaving that in there. Because the benchmarking tool will go to frame rates higher than 30 FPS. My average on normal, putting that in inverted commas, normal settings. What the hell does normal mean? You've got normal, low, high for the basic graphic settings. Then you've got a few NVIDIA exclusive stuff there. I'm on an AMD card, but we'll talk about AMD in a minute. But yeah, the normal settings, I got 55 FPS. Yeah, it's okay. 55 on normal, not bad. I have a AMD R9 280X, in case you want to know. 3 GB of RAM, which is the minimum requirement now for AMD cards. They changed the minimum requirements just before the game went live. Incidentally, I was still preloading it when I saw the post about the minimum system requirements. AMD cards require 3 GB of RAM. Now, they've tried to shift the blame off onto AMD users, which is not a good idea considering 30% of the PC marketplace is made up of AMD graphics card users. I think it's 70-30 the split is between NVIDIA and AMD. Not a good idea. However, I have read forums and I've seen the Steam reviews as well. A lot of NVIDIA users reporting the same problems and worse problems, especially if you're using SLI, should I say, two NVIDIA cards chained together, or connected together, chained together. That conjures up a horrible image of you just chaining and just glue them together. Maybe that'll work, just, you know, staple them, maybe use staples, but yeah, you stick them together. And yeah, you don't really get double performance from SLI or Crossfire if you're an AMD user, so I don't see the point personally in Crossfire or SLI. I'd rather buy just a single graphics card, because the amount of games that don't have compatibility or don't take full advantage of SLI, I don't really see the point in it, to be honest. Maybe DirectX 12 will maybe see a bit more usage out of SLI. It might become a thing in PC gaming, but for now, stick with a single card, to be honest with you. I'm not buying two. No, I'm not wasting most of my budget on 2 cards, but they're trying to shift the blame, Rocksteady. I did see their statements that they made AMD users, although that is proving to be quite, you know, affecting AMD users, that they said in their official statement. But, you know, NVIDIA users are reporting problems as well. Now, it does have they are sponsored by NVIDIA, because they have the NVIDIA, the way it's meant to be played, logo that comes up in the game logos part, which is quite annoying that you can't skip. And of course, it was a giveaway if you bought a GTX 9 series graphics card. Arkham Knight and Witcher 3 were 2 of the games that were on the giveaway, and it had some NVIDIA exclusive features, which, fair enough, don't really care. I buy AMD basically because you get a better graphics card for your money in the UK. NVIDIA cards too expensive. You always have to drop a model down. You know, for example, I was looking at a GTX 760 or a 280X, and the 280X for the AMD is better than a GTX 760. It's 770, it's the equivalent of. The 770 is better than a 280X, I'd say, overall. But it's like 50-60 pounds more expensive in the UK, so AMD, you get a better card for your money in the UK at least. So yeah, that's why I buy AMD, because I want a better card for the money, better than a 760 at least. Anyway, that was what I was shopping at the time. That was the range when I was upgrading my PC, so that's why I own an AMD card. I did see at their PC gaming show the 3 Series is coming soon. Apparently the 3 Series AMD cards are having a lot of problems with drivers driver support as well, not just in Arkham Knight but just in general, so we'll probably hold off a while. I feel like with the 280X I think we can skip the 380, definitely can be skipped. Maybe get a 390 if the price drops. I don't know, I don't think I really need 8 gig of RAM, to be honest with you. 8 gig of VRAM. Do we really need it? Not running 4K or anything like that, so I don't really feel like I need that much VRAM. Probably 4 gig, maybe. I got 3 gig. 3 gig is the minimum AMD requirement for this. It's kind of shockingly bad PC port, and you can see I left the frame rate counter up while recording this. Now I did record it in OBS. I recorded it in so that it wasn't DX Tory compatible. Another game that DX Tory isn't compatible with, but we did manage to get it recorded. So if there's any quality issues, I don't know, I've never really used OBS for anything other than live streaming. I decided to crank the bitrate up and record at 1080p. It will only record at 30 FPS because the game's only running at 30 FPS, so there's no point recording at 60 when we can't get 60. Again, I just left the 30 FPS lock. It can be removed. It is an Unreal Engine game, so you just go into the INI files and change the set FPS lock to whatever you want it to be. Some people are setting it to unlimited. 999 would be unlimited, I guess, but I mean, I would set it to 60 maybe, I guess, just so the game doesn't crash. We don't want the game to crash. And I wish they would fix their CPU's AMD, as this fucking thing keeps stuttering again. Keeps turning the power down for no reason. It's like it's not even very hot. It's sitting at 14 degrees and it turns the power down when you're in the middle of something. Fucking AMD CPUs. But anyway, that is a horrible, horrible PC port. It seems to get worse when you're in the Batmobile. That seems to be it. It seems to just dip horribly in the Batmobile. It dips horribly in combat as well, as you'll see. Here, cutscenes, the audio goes out of sync. We've seen things like that. We're also seeing a lot of things like texture pop in, especially on the restaurant signs. You're getting like there was one, I can't remember what the restaurant's called now, but it was like it was a Chinese restaurant, I take it, because it had like Chinese symbols on it, and the textures took forever to pop in. It is an Unreal Engine game. Unreal Engine games pretty shitty on the PC, to be honest with you. I've said so many issues with games like Mirror's Edge, Bulletstorm, I think it was called, using the Unreal Engine on PC. Games just seem to be poorly optimized, or developers just don't seem to be very good at optimizing games for the Unreal Engine for some weird reason. I've just had a world of issues with them. Spec Ops The Line was pretty shit as well on PC. I remember that one ran like shit as well. I don't know if it's just maybe I didn't have a good enough graphics card at the time, but it didn't seem to matter, Nvidia or AMD. Because I've had the last card I had was an Nvidia card, and the previous cards to that have been AMD. But yeah, same issues with Unreal Engine games on these cards. I don't know if it's just an issue with the engine not being well optimized, or is it an issue of developers not getting the best out of it. They certainly made this for consoles, although Xbox One users are reporting issues with it. Again, a lot of console players complaining that PC versions not running well, but again, I mean, console games, we've had the same thing. I mean, Assassin's Creed Unity was a piece of shit on consoles and PC, and I don't like the way they changed the DLC codes or not the game codes. They changed the ones you got with Nvidia cards from pre-order codes to retail codes so that you couldn't get the Harley Quinn DLC. That was low. Bit low on Warner Brothers there, WB Games, for doing that, really. Again, seems like quite a dick move if you just spent, you know, a couple of $100 at least on a new graphics card. You know, they could have given you the DLC. How much is that? How much is that going to cost them to throw in the DLC? Also, the limited edition not coming with the transformable Batmobile. As if I don't buy premium editions right now. I paid for mine. I bought mine through a kind of third-party website. I bought mine through, it was CD Keys. .com. It was £16, £15.99 I paid for it. So I'm not complaining hugely, but if I paid full price and you know there was Steam refunds are available, I'd be pissed at that. I'd be so pissed off. And again, if you look at the Steam reviews page, most of the reviews are all negative, and rightfully so, because a game that struggles to run 30 FPS on hardware that can run. I mean, I can run games like Rise Son of Rome at 60 FPS on high settings. I can run what else can I run? I could run Dragon Age Inquisition, Battlefield 4, high, not the highest settings, but I can run them at high 60 FPS, no problem, frame rate doesn't dip. I can run even, well, we bet Rise Son of Rome uses the Cry engine as well, can run Crysis and things like that, Crysis 3, at decent settings with decent frame rates on my PC. I'm kind of at a mid-range PC I have, but you expect it at least to be able to run the game on medium at least 60 FPS. That's kind of the minimum standard. 1080p resolution we're running at as well. It's not as if we're trying to run the game at 4K or anything like that, anything ridiculous on this card, but it should be able to run. There's really no excuse. Day one, another Assassin's Creed Unity, another nail in the coffin for pre-order culture as well. Thought we were past that in 2014. It really is kind of a lingering 2014 problem. I mean, it was a big problem last year with PC games and console games as well. Launching half-finished, broken, buggy pieces of shit that are going to require massive patches, I imagine. Someone posted for a joke that it was going to get a 30 gig patch. 30 gigs was the entire game. That would just re-download the game, really. That was 33 gigs was the entire game size. So I preloaded it yesterday, fired it up at midnight, ran a benchmark, looked at the driver issues, did upgrade the driver to the drivers that they recommended, and yeah, same issues really, same issues with AMD. So it's not just exclusive with AMD cards. There is Nvidia, although they didn't say Nvidia. I guess they didn't want to upset their partners, Nvidia, but a lot of users reporting the same issues with Nvidia. So anyway, I will leave you with the rest of this shitty port. You can watch the rest of this video if you want. I'll put the sound back on for the video. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon. And this will probably get flagged for copyright, no doubt, but fuck them. Fuck WB Games, and PC gaming, still the place to be though, still the place to be. But thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon, and goodbye.
Two-Face wants payback for the courthouse. That's gonna get it. Activated. Weapon energy system diagnostic test online. Stage 1. Destroy targets to charge up weapon energy and activate missile barrage. Level 1 ready. Diagnostic stage complete. Stage 2. Charge the missile barrage to level 2 to destroy up to 4 targets at once. 2 ready. Diagnostic stage complete. Stage 3. Taking damage depletes weapon energy. Charge up missile barrage to level 2 and destroy 4 active targets to complete diagnostic test. Barrage level 2 ready. Diagnostic test complete. Simulation complete.
Batman, I'm seeing a transport deploying more tanks at Panessa Studios. I've warned GCPD to pull their men off the streets.
I'm heading there now.
Come in, all units. This is Commissioner Gordon. We have numerous hostile tanks deployed across the city. Gotham is under attack. I want everyone off the streets and back to GCPD. We're not equipped to deal with what's out there. Thank God there's someone who is.